guys, I am Pixel Dan. Let's talk about Masters of the Universe Origins, Snake Mountain. Hey guys, thank you for joining me for another video. Recently, I had the opportunity to visit Mattel headquarters to attend their 40th anniversary of Masters of the Universe Influencer Day. And at this event, we got to see lots of new reveals. Now, I've already done a video talking about all of the reveals, so if you haven't already seen that, make sure you check that out as well. But today, I specifically want to talk about the Origins Snake Mountain playset. That is right, my friends. Snake Mountain has been officially announced for the Origins line, which is a playset I've seen lots of people calling for ever since Grayskull came out, so it's very cool to know that it's coming. So here are the quick details so far. We don't know a lot yet. This was a brand new unveiling here at this event, and they literally got this model in right before the event started. So they really hadn't had a chance to see a whole lot of it yet or play around with it. It is the very first model of this, so you can expect things to change with it still. Some of the things that they talked about specifically that need to be updated, the snake at the top, they're still working out, some of the other smaller aspects, but they were still able to walk us through everything with this to show us all of the cool details, and I'm definitely gonna show the footage of that so you guys can check it out. Now, this playset is set to arrive next year, fall of 2023. This is a retail release, just like Castle Grayskull, so we should be able to hopefully walk into a store and buy it or pre-order it at our favorite online store. No pricing info yet, but that is probably just because we're still a whole year away, that they may not have that part finalized. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and flip over to the footage of the unveiling from Mattel so that they can show you guys all of the details that they showed to us.
This is obviously a fragile, early prototype. So this will be arriving in fall 2023. This may not represent final version. Like we said, it's still early, we're still working out a few things. But Sam, Zara, do you guys want to show them what's under the cover?
What's under the curtain?
Origins Snake
Mountain, everybody. So, as Josh was saying, this geometry is not final. So some of those things like size, proportion, curvature, and all that stuff is still very early. But we're really happy to introduce Snake Mountain to you guys. I know you guys have all been asking, where's Snake Mountain? And here it is, and we're happy to deliver. So we're doing this in true Origins fashion. We're keeping a lot of what worked, and we're thinking about what can be better, right? So one of the things that we thought of first, Damon and I talking about it, how can we make this better? And one of the first things we thought about is having a mountain that actually kind of represents the Filmation / a mountain peak. So this is an added piece here that we added to the archway. Obviously, we're gonna be making the snake a little bit more prominent and bigger. I don't know about this big, but that's still in the works. It still maintains everything you know and love about Snake Mountain. We got the shackles, and we increased the width of the stairs just a little bit more. But just because of the logistics of packaging and all that, we just had to be realistic about how much we can increase it. We also still have this bridge here, and this is still here. And should we move in?
Yeah, you can turntable. So
I'm just gonna do this carefully. Okay, so moving on to the inside. We're telling story with this new Snake Mountain. So we're removing the voice changer feature in place of some cool like floors, thrones, cages, little monsters here, slug monsters you can remove. Got little pieces there. The ladder, etc., etc.
Don't just etc. it. Tell us about it.
So I gotta move around. Etc. was the buy time. This wolf head will articulate left and right, and if you guys can see this little spider, you're gonna be fighting that spider while getting to Skeletor. You can also unplug this dude, plug him into here on the wall. One of the coolest things about this set is, the added stuff, right? So instead of having just left to right play, we wanted to bring it out to you guys a little bit more. So there's this fold-up piece to represent more acid pits. And fun fact is these little plugs are the same plugs on our Origins figure's waist, so you can pop off the top and plug them in there to make them look like they're melting. It's one of my favorite parts. You still got all the original parts of it. Let's show them. So you guys see the hole down here? Plug it in. And he's melting.
Wow.
So that's an added part. Added a weapons rack. We're just thinking, Grayskull has a weapons rack. What can we do to kind of make this feel like it's on par with Castle Grayskull, right? So we got the weapons rack. We also have this new really cool cage. Can you hold the mic? You can remove. Oh, thank you. From here. And place it up here.
Oh, the floor to drop out.
So when your figures enter Snake Mountain through the archway, there's going to be a trap door here. I don't know if you guys can catch that. So that falls in, they fall into the cage. Then Skeletor's minions will move this cage, put it here into the little dungeon area. So, we're trying to tell a little bit of a story, an adventure kind of thing. And of course, plus it up from what the vintage was. So we got Skeletor's throne here as well. Rotates. And it's a lot of cool extra little details. Like you see these little roots in this hole to kind of give a little bit more environmental effects. Pretty much it. Okay, I need a figure. Let's get. Oh, cool. Oh, sorcery. Okay, so.
This is not canon.
Yeah. So, she's stuck here in the shackles. Oh, she gets free. Goes on the carriage.
Sound effects are not final.
Hold on, let's put this over here.
The models are a bit finicky, so you gotta be a little bit careful.
Let's get
Okay. So she makes it to the archway. She gets inside the door. She goes in. Okay. I made it into Snake Mountain.
Whoop! She falls in. Then Beastman comes or whoever and moves this over. So they can, the heroes can use this ladder, climb up to fight Skeletor directly, or they can just open this front door for escape. And then, crawl into this space.
Woo!
And if you look at it from the front, it's kind of cool, right? Because it looks like
Fight, sorceress, fight!
They're crawling through vines. Yeah.
Good job.
The shot
And scene.
So yes, we will be adding, trapdoors where, we see it fit. If you guys notice, there's no net, because we kind of thought that it was, it could be improved on. If you had a trapdoor here, it tells a better story, like they're falling straight into the acid pit. We're adding a bunch of little tchotch figures, the throne, the cage. So yeah, we think this is going to be a really cool item.
Yeah, and of course a mountain is bigger than a castle, so it's going to tower over your Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, I think Grayskull comes up to
Not even, yeah.
right? Something like that?
Hmm?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're really excited to finally reveal this to you guys. This is a lot of love has been put into it.
So pretty cool, right? I think that this turned out really, really neat. Some of the details that they showed off were very cool. The original Snake Mountain playset is kind of notorious for being a little lackluster. There's not a whole lot going on the inside of the vintage one. It's sort of like this big empty shell with nothing going on there. You've got that net that was under the trap door that never functioned correctly. you did have the cool battery-operated microphone, and that is one of the things that they opted to remove from this. They said that they removed it for two reasons. Cost is one of the reasons, but also they didn't feel like costing that in was necessary when everybody has things like their phones that can do the same kind of thing now. Like you can get an app that does like an echoey voice or something, and that does make sense. Somebody in the crowd actually asked them if they had thought about creating their own Snake Mountain app that people can download, and they kind of gave that like, yeah, we're always looking into things like that. So I don't know, maybe that's a thing that they'll do. It is a good idea. But I don't personally mind that they removed the microphone feature. I think some of the other features they worked in are really, really nice. I think they made Snake Mountain a much more exciting playset. On the outside of Snake Mountain, the shackles are still there for your prisoners. One of the things that they specifically talked about is that they widened the staircase going up to the top so that you can actually fit action figures on it. And there are little pegs along the way so that you can display your figures on there as well. They said that the idea was that you would be able to display figures there also on your shelf, which I thought was a really good idea. The little hole in the bottom there, like the little escape hatch, they added these vine details to it, which I think looks incredibly cool. And they're like soft plastic vines, so figures can still like tunnel out of Snake Mountain. It's really neat. They also added a mountain spire on the top above the little door there where the snake wraps around. And this was to make it look more mountain-esque and to kind of give it a nod to what the Filmation series did. So kind of similar to what the classics did. They kind of followed that model there by adding that. And I think that was a nice touch as well. The inside is where this thing gets really exciting. First of all, we've got Skeletor's bone throne, inspired by Filmation, of course, but I'm glad to see we've got a throne for Skeletor. Vintage did not have that. Where the microphone typically would be, the wolf head thing, it can turn and rotate, and it's got this little spider on there that they showed can remove and actually be stuck to the walls inside the playset, so it's kind of like a little creature in there that I think is fun. And speaking of creatures, on the bottom half, in the vintage, there was always that sticker with the little green moat with the little creature sticking out of it. So now that moat is actually a physical piece. It folds down when the playset opens, and then some of those creatures from the stickers are actual 3D little figures that are now sticking in this moat. And you can remove them from it. And the peg that they plug into is the same size peg that is on the midsection of your Origins figures so that you can stick the halves of the Origins figures there to make it look like they're sinking in the moat. I thought that was genius. I love that so very much. And probably one of the coolest pieces is the cage, right? So they've got a cage in this dungeon. It's a full cage. It slides out from there and connects to the floor up at the top so that when that trapdoor triggers, they actually fall down in the cage. They actually land in a cage this time, and then you can just move that cage back down to the dungeon. Really fun play features here. Like, this thing is so cool. Kids will have things to play with on it, and I love that. I think that is absolutely fantastic. So, Snake Mountain looks pretty incredible. I'm very excited for this particular reveal. I'm glad to know that it's coming. We've got a whole year to wait for it, but there seems to be so much stuff in between. I cannot believe we're at this point where there's like so much MOTU that it's hard to keep up with it all. It's like a cursing and a bless all at the same time. Cursing and a blessing all at once. So there you guys go, a look at the Snake Mountain playset from Mattel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to supply you with a bunch of details from the event. Once again, thank you to Mattel for inviting me out so that I can shoot all this footage to share with the world. And thank you guys very much for watching this video. Until next time.